candidates of their parties will come out with such arrogance to say that calling somebody's name was a disgrace and telling a serving vice president to go and sell ice cream. Look, it really has to stop. One more such statement from Mr. Shettima will be greeted with 3 or 4 more. He needs to know that they don't have monopoly. We will say more effective, more painful, but in a very dignified and honorable manner.
Hello, my beautiful people. This video that I want to play right now is that of Dati Baba Ahmed, the vice presidential aspirant of the Labour Party, really pouring out their mind on how they think about, what's happening on campaign grounds, the way you see, oppositions like Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the rest, spewing out derogatory, words that actually a lot of people have said why people not talking, but now he came out to really address it, and some will say it was very modest. For me, I was surprised. I never saw Dati as someone that could be outspoken. In fact, I've never loved him more than this of a truth, and he spewed it out with a little bit of polite insult. It's like saying, in my Yoruba people will say, brother, all right, but together, let's watch it together. I'll be pausing in between just to really digest what he's saying. There's some brilliant stuff there that he talked about. So let's see what he had to say, and then we come back and wrap it all up. Please subscribe to this channel, or just like this video. At least it's free. Just like it so that other people can see this video. When you like it, the YouTube, Facebook will recommend it. See that you like it, so other people must see it. So please help us like this video. Okay, so let's go straight and watch what he has to say.
Let me start from the top. There is no harm, respectfully, when I say His Excellency, the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential. I give respect to him, his name, the institution, the traditional title, and I feel good about it. But when you find a presidential as a candidate in the ruling party, stating that it is disgraceful, or was it embarrassing, to mention the name of another, there is willful, deliberate, forceful attempt to disparage, disrespect, and reduce the name. For all intent and purpose, internationally acclaimed, Peter Obi is a man of honor, highly respected globally. He is welcomed to every presidential villa in the world, the White House, the number 10 Downing, and many others. Who are you to say that you can't mention his name? And what is the purpose of that? Now, these are things we don't want our children to see. We don't want other Nigerians to learn from. And it is very, very necessary, therefore, to let them know, don't do this again. Then, coming down the line, 6 weeks ago or thereabouts, Mr. Shettima was, at one fell swoop, destroyed Atiku's reputation.
And then Mr. Shettima is the vice presidential candidate of the APC.
Of the APC. So you see there's a pattern in it. They have the security apparatus, they have the finances of this country, have had those of their states for so long. They are coming with all this arrogance. In one fell swoop, this man said that Atiku was selling pure water. Atiku has been, for God's sake, a vice president, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Show some respect to him. Age-wise, he is by far senior to you. This is not consistent with the education and training from the scholars, great scholars of Borno Empire. I studied in Borno. I know what respect means. He said, spewing dubious statistics. This is a man who does not know the difference between statistics, index, data, ratios, figures, and so on. He just said dubious statistics, putting everything together and just condemning it. So it is very important and instructive that we tap them on the shoulder somehow, like, gentlemen, we are not doing this style of politics. We took an oath. We signed. Remember, Tinubu was absent in the Abdusalam Abubakar-led signing of the peace accord. So you can see the disdain that they are treating not just the peace accord itself, the rest of us who are stakeholders in Project Nigeria and Project 2023 elections. It has to stop. They jump at every small opportunity to set Peter Obi against the North and the Muslims. when oil production was the front line news, somebody
The
on
discovery of oil.
No, I think it's production.
Well, the production process. Right, in the north.
Somebody felt he could justify their salaries by jumping and, this is an opportunity to say that Peter Obi hates the north. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I joined Peter Obi's ticket because I know Peter Obi loves the north. He talks about the north day and night. He talks about the north being the greatest physical asset of Nigeria, the land itself, the wealth in it. When we found oil and began to produce, he couldn't be any happier. And now somebody is paid because it is political season again. Find anything that is out of this world, just put it against them. The point also we're making today is that, look, Nigerians are not reckless and careless consumers of news. Nigerians are beginning to decipher. Nigerians are beginning to discern, thanks to credible media that is rising in profile and outreach. Nigerians, we were called today that when you hear bad news, when you hear wrong news, fake news, disregard it, take it for what it is. You see, people who are calling black, white, and using all instruments to enforce it, they will now turn around to say that where you have insecurity, there is security. Where you can glaringly see the dollar at 750 naira, they will tell you that they have improved your economy. Nigerians go into the markets and buy food stuff 3-4 times what they used to buy before now, and they will still tell you we have fixed your economy. Who, for God's sake, in today's world assesses themselves? No one does that.
And that's very true. It is uncivilized. Who will assess himself, unless you're a lizard that will jump from, a story building and land and say, yes, I'm the man. But really, that's what the APC has been doing, try to assess themselves. We've done this. But go to the streets and ask the ordinary man. Now, I think that is making a lot of sense, as regards that. But let's go back to watching this video to see more. He had a lot to say. So just chill as we go back on this ride.
It is uncivilized. It is barbaric. It is dishonorable.
Right, so you're suggesting it's the people who would make that assessment.
It is the people who would make that, absolutely.
Right. But let me ask you this, though, in making the assessment of your party, some have suggested, and your supporters, some have suggested that there are equally threads that have been emerging from the Labour Party and its supporters, particularly online, that seek to not only undermine the opposing parties and their candidates, but have been distorting their truth in a bid to change the narrative. I mean, do you acknowledge the fact that your own supporters are also pretty vitriolic online?
I absolutely do not accept, because the same opponents of ours could also claim to be our supporters and do damaging acts just to give us the bad names, and so many that we have discovered. Remember, Peter Obi found it necessary to go to Lagos and pay a visit to a famous and the son of a famous Nigerian musician, whom I would also like to go and visit to get some old records.
Okay, trying to tell you, saying himself, Jassy, getting some old records. I won't go, maybe Fela record and so on. Long live, Fela even in his death. Let's watch on. Let's enjoy, the rest of the talk from Dati.
I like that.
Because he was unfairly attacked. Now, Peter Obi never commissioned anyone to say things like that. It's not our attitude. It's not our style.
We're saying you commissioned anyone. Yes. We're saying that because you could the APC or any of the parties could make the same argument that they're not asking anyone to go out and. Remember, I know the difference.
My presentation today had nothing and said nothing about what supporters did.
Yeah, you're right.
You were strictly about what
the candidates themselves did.
Okay. I would never look at what their supporters.
No, I understand that,
because the supporters are nearly non-existent.
Right. Well, that's a matter that will obviously be decided when the elections come. But I mean, the point is this.
Well, I can tell you they're non-existent because everything they have to do has to be paid for.
Right. Well,
so you don't have genuine, bona fide supporters that will go out and do things jealously.
Right. But given all
because of their belief in their cause, there is a break from the norm, from just one political party. The others are probably too small and too overwhelmed and not properly resourced to comment on what the other two squabbling for second and third position are doing. Now, there have been consistent polls that have shown a new rising political party come to overtake so-called dominant political parties in Nigeria, including the leading one. That is a cause of scare to them. And instead of behaving rationally, they fell into knee-jerk reactions, mundane strategies, that the best thing is set Peter Obi against the northern establishment. It failed. Ever since I joined the ticket and thoroughly investigated, and the North began to realize Peter Obi who he is, a true Nigerian, a lover of peace, a bringer of development. Ever since the North began to realize him for what he is, their whole game plans changed. Frustration set in. Insults followed. It was completely unnecessary, totally, for a vice presidential candidate to speak in the manner, one fell swoop in just one finished article. I mean, look, I always say, we in the classroom know the value of knowledge. Even shoe shining is a profession, and it must be respected. If we teach it, we respect it. Hygiene is one of the most noble professions in this world. Here comes a governor from a state where education was branded as forbidden, coming to say that the training he got from Kano School of Hygiene. This man deserves to be dropped as a vice presidential candidate, because we believe in education. This is a government, remember, for 8 months, ASU was on strike. Our children were at home for 8 months. Yet you have a vice presidential candidate speaking badly about one of the most hygiene, as important as hygiene is. You should praise anybody whom in the 60s studied hygiene. Whoever studied hygiene in the 60s is studying nuclear medicine now, and nuclear science now in today's world.
Right, so let me ask you this. In the context of this verbal violence that you're talking about, and it's not, I mean, I'm talking about across the board. I'm not.
Can I interrupt you?
I'm not taking sides with anyone.
Yeah, no, can I just interrupt you? Verbal violence easily transforms into actual violence.
Potentially.
And mostly they do.
Potentially it could.
No. Mostly they do. In the last 3 weeks, things with such statements from these leaders, presidential candidates speaking the way they did, calling another one that it is disgraceful to mention his name. He is just about to say something that is very bad. Another candidate in the North, for example, it is too heavy a word to use. You see, I don't call the names of tribes unless for technical descriptions. But at Area House, to say that Northerners, after 4 seconds of contemplation, so it was not sporadic, after 4 seconds you say that Northerners do not need a Yoruba or an Igbo leader. Again, that requires him to honorably quit from this race, because the meaning of GCON, okay, Order of the Niger, is like a fraternity.
Well,
and you are a grand commander.
Right.
In the order, you have taken oath twice to promote the unity of Nigeria, and you face the North and tell them they do not need a Yoruba man. That is not true. Every Northerner needs a Yoruba man. Every Northerner needs an Igbo man. Every Igbo man needs a Yoruba and a Northerner. Every Yoruba man needs an Igbo man and a Northerner. Well, now you see, even from the way their own government has been run, they came to power through denigrating all our political opponents. They didn't leave out IBB, they didn't leave out Obasanjo, they didn't leave out late Eradua in his grave, they didn't leave out Jonathan, whom they were about to defeat. Took over power on empty promises and had absolutely no clues about good governance. And what are we suffering now? The worst form of insecurity. Some countries are better than what particularly northern Nigeria is in. Baghdad during ISIL and Syria are better than northern Nigeria the way it is now. They didn't used to negotiate ransom on federal networks. It is happening under them. Aggravated corruption under this regime. So there is very little wonder that candidates of their parties will come out with such arrogance to say that calling somebody's name was a disgrace and telling a serving vice president to go and sell ice cream. Look, it really has to stop. One more such statement from Mr. Shetima will be greeted with 3 or 4 more. He needs to know that they don't have monopoly. We will say more effective, more painful, but in a very dignified and honorable manner.
Hey. Oh boy, I've never loved. See, now there you go, no person. You know someone that is educated, someone that's. And funny enough, some other candidates so educated, but I think that Baba Yusuf has really tripped me with his kind of articulation, his kind of speech, and this is more of a subtle threat. Really, this is more of a subtle threat. Say, if we are not stop the fire, when we begin fire, and I go hear what. Let's finish this up and then we wrap up
because we have the information. We're just controlling ourselves. There's nothing I like being underestimated.
Okay, that is it from Yusuf Dati. I must say I'm seriously impressed. I've not really sat down to listen to Dati or see him talk to this extent, talk for about 20 minutes. In fact, the original video is about more than 30 minutes where he was analyzing how we felt. A lot of people feel the same way over time, but they've chosen not to talk all this while. But, now they've addressed it. What do you think? Do you think really the APC has not been fair? The presidential candidates of the APC and the vice presidential candidates, they've been spewing out venom. They've been insulting, really. Let's call it spade a spade. Calling names here and there. But now Yusuf Dati has come out. This man no be gentleman, no be so gentle. He has come out to spill it the way he feels it, and I love the way he was putting in between some, subtle threats. You do anyhow, investors you go see anyhow, anyhow, yaga yaga. So he says something to make Shetima take time because they have a lot of things they can also spill. But I love the fact that they are trying to change the narrative of how elections go. Now, instead of just coming out, like you see the video where you saw Rufai Hussein is saying, our elections are supposed to be about what you will do and not just about condemnation, not just about throwing insults and jab like the APC, has been doing, or, trying to divide the country along tribal lines, and that, the PDP has been doing. You've seen the Labour Party being realistic, throwing out what they want to do. They want to change from consumption to production, and so on and so forth. I'm telling you what they've done. Okay, I can't repeat all you said. I know you heard it. I will end it here. Please help us share this video. Help us like this video, because if you like it, then the algorithm of YouTube and Facebook will know that people like it and suggest it to other people. We love you so much. Please vote right. Elections are coming. Spread the gospel of who you believe in, or believe in the right candidates. My name is Alvin Ilenre, but you can also call me Olu Alvin or Mulungu. Lord have mercy. God show mercy us. See you next time in the next video. Please share, like, and comment. Bye-bye.